Hello friends, in previous part we have studied about the process of fertilization. There are different processes occur to complete the fertilization process. We have studied about 4 processes such like as fertilizing or anti-formation of fertilizing and anti-fertilizing approaches of sperms, breakdown of lysine, as well as the cortical fusion of or we can say fusion of gametes can take place. And now in this part we will discuss on another phase, that is the fifth one is. This fifth stage of fertilization is start of meiosis 2. As we have seen that breakdown of acrosome, the lysine enzyme that decompose the different layer of the egg such like as corona radiata as well as zona pellucida. Then the sperms is near to reach to the ovum. Suppose this is the vitelline membrane of egg. Vitelline membrane, and it contains zona pellucida as well as corona radiata, this will be it. As the sperm is near to the vitelline membrane, the vitelline membrane shows some reception cone which we have already studied about this process, and just near the sperm is reached this one like this. Vitelline membrane show receptor cones such like this one. But in this phase, start of meiosis, how the meiosis process can start? As the sperm triggered with, it means in this phase the sperms triggered with the vitelline membrane. This is the secondary oocyte before the triggerment of sperm. This is the secondary oocyte. As the sperm triggers the sperm to the secondary oocyte, then there is another process, division process can take place, that is called meiosis 2. Meiosis 2 division can take place, and this secondary oocyte change into oocyte or egg with the breakdown of small second polar nuclei. Just this one. Small second polar nuclei, and this convert into the oocyte as well as we can say that ovum. The secondary oocyte converts into the oocyte or ovum. Meiosis 2, why this process can take place, we have already studied. In meiosis 2 is a reduction in which one small cell which breaks down this small cell is known as second polar body. The second polar body which contains a little bit cytoplasm, but the most cytoplasm contained in the oocyte or ovum. This second polar body slowly start to degenerate. During the meiosis 2 phase, this is the reduction phase, there are some factors which may be activated and which some deactivate. As this meiosis process can take place, the metaphase factor deactivate, and anaphase promoting factors activate. As the sperm triggered to the vitelline membrane of egg, meiosis II can take place. Before triggerment of the sperm with the egg, this is called secondary oocyte. As the sperm triggered with the vitelline membrane of egg, secondary or we can say meiosis II take place. Meiosis II in this process, metaphase factor deactivate and anaphase factor activate. Anaphase promoting factor activate. So in meiosis II, there are two cells are produced. One is large, that is called otid or ovum, and another one is very small. It contains a very little bit cytoplasm, that is called second polar body, which is attached to the otid. Slowly it starts to degenerate. This is the fifth stage which occurred in fertilization. After this one, the cell enters into the another phase, and that is called cortical. Number 6, cortical reaction. Cortical reaction, as well as this phase is called formation of fertilizing membrane. Formation of fertilizing membrane. We have already discussed. This is the vitelline membrane. Just inside the vitelline membrane there are two zones. The zone which is near to the vitelline membrane, this zone is called egg cortical or called exoplasm. This is exoplasm, or as well as it is called egg cortical. And the other zone which present inner side, this is called ooplasm. This is called ooplasm. After this process, there is another fertilizing membrane can take place, or we can say the cortical reaction can take place. As the sperm nucleus enters into the egg, the vitelline membrane slowly this is the cortical region. The vitelline membrane shows some swell, just like this one, and the cortical zone remains here. There is a gap, there is space may produce between the cortical or exoplasm as well as the vitelline membrane. This space may create. This is the vitelline membrane. Vitelline membrane, this is exoplasm. A space may create between the exoplasm and the vitelline membrane. This space is called perivitelline membrane or perivitelline space. Perivitelline space. A space may create as the sperm nucleus enters into the egg. This formation with the vitelline membrane, and there are some granules also present. The granules which are present in cortical zones, those are called cortical granules. These cortical granules reach to the or we can say that vitelline membrane, near to the vitelline membrane, and this will form a new layer. This new layer is called formation of fertilizing membrane. This is called fertilizing membrane. After the meiosis II, the cell enters into another phase, another process, that is called cortical reaction, or we can say the formation of fertilizing membrane. As the sperm nucleus enters into the egg, the egg cortical and vitelline membrane shows some space between it. This space is formed. This space which is present between the vitelline membrane and cortical zone that is called perivitally space. The cortical granules cortical, which are present in granules, just small ball-like structures, particles. These granules, cortical granules, reach to the vitelline membrane and produce another membrane. This is called fertilizing membrane. What is the role of fertilizing membrane? The role of fertilizing membrane is very important. It prevents the egg. This membrane, it prevents the egg from polyspermy. It means there is no entry of 2 or more sperms into the egg can take place. If 2 sperms enters into the egg, the number of chromosomes set becomes disturbance, create disturbance. So the genetic variation can take place in the fetus. So what is the role of fertilizing membrane? This membrane prevents the polyspermic entry or into the egg. This is the 6th phase. After this phase, the last phase is fusion of gametes. How the gametes can fuse with each other? This is the 7th processes in the fertilization. This is called fusion of gametes. Fusion of gametes. This is the egg vitelline membrane, and there are some cells, secreted particles as well as follicular cells create corona radiata. Corona radiata, and this is the vitelline membrane. Vitelline membrane. Just inside the vitelline membrane, as we have already studied, sperms always enters into the egg through the animal pole. This is the sperm, and sperm always enters into the egg through animal pole. So we can say that this is the animal pole. Why it is called animal pole? Because through this pole, through this end, sperms enters, because here is the nucleus. The nucleus is present just near to the vitelline membrane. So it contains nucleus. Nucleus, it is known as female gamete. Female gamete. Female nucleus, or it also called female gametes. The nucleus of sperms enters in, not whole body of sperms enters into the egg, but only enters the sperm's nucleus. It is the nucleus of sperm. Nucleus of sperm, and this is the nucleus of ovum. This both can take place and fuse with each other. And after fuse, it makes another cell. Sperms is also haploid cell, and ovum is also haploid cell. As the cell fused, it forms a diploid zygote. This arrangement, this fusion arrangement of male gamete with female gamete, this is called synchrone. What is synchrone? Fusion, after fusion of male sperm with female ovum, that structure is known as synchrone, and this is formation of zygote. Diploid zygote can take place. This is the fertilizing process can take place in the human female. There are 7 processes occur during the fertilization processes. After the fertilizing process, there are some significance can be seen in the fertilization. What are the significance of the fertilization? Significance of The first, fusion of two gametes. Fusion of two gametes. Two gametes means male sperm with female ovum. Male sperm with female ovum. This is the first process. After fusion of gametes, the genetic variation can take place. Genetic variation. Why this genetic variation can take place? We know that sperm is the paternal gametes and ovum is the maternal gametes. Both have different genetic material. So genetic variation can take place after fusion of the gamete. The second significance is, as the sperm triggers the vitelline membrane of egg, start of meiosis 2 play and meiosis 2 division can take place. Second significance is start of meiosis 2. Number third, only nucleus with the centrioles enters into the ovum, not the whole body of sperm. So nucleus as enters into it, nucleus with centriole, the centriole is here, because after metaphase, the metaphase stage, the chromosomes just reach to the equatorial plate, so it forms an equatorial plate, just like this one. After the start of meiosis 2, the next phase is only nucleus with centriole enters into it, and it contains some mitochondria which is called nibercles, and mitochondria provide energy. Due to this energy, the metabolic process may increase. So we can say that metabolic process increased. Why this process increased? Due to excess number of mitochondria. We can also say that nibercles, and the cell uptake oxygen, or we can say that uptake of oxygen. This is the third significance of the fertilization. Number 4, we have seen that formation of fertilizing membrane. This can also take place in fertilizing. Formation of fertilizing membrane can take place. Number 5, after the meiosis 2, the cell contains cytoplasm and it retained it. Cell contains cytoplasm which is retained by the cell. The cytoplasm which is retained by the egg cell. And number 6, the centriole which enters into the egg through the sperm. These centrioles are responsible for the cleavage, or we can say that zygotic division. Centrioles are responsible for zygotic division. We can also say that cleavage. These are the significance occurred during the fertilization process. And the fertilization process in human being completed in 7 processes. Clear? In next part we will discuss how the morula and blastulation can take place.